changes in the industry correctly and change the way you make money or the way you try to sell things, stuck to a good niche or similar thing, then I am confident that the people that did that did not have that big of a drop. I know many numbers of many companies. I knew many. I looked at many books to see if something's interesting to buy. And although there are many, I didn't buy them not because they actually crumbled over the last few years. It's just because of size. It didn't make any sense. But I know of many companies that today are definitely making more money than the big ones did early in the day in 98, 99, 2000. Although many people don't believe me, but I am confident this is the case. I've seen too many numbers, and I see no proof that anybody really made more in 2000. We grow without acquisitions 15% each year, and if we can do that, you can do that. So honestly, I do suggest don't stick your head in the sand. Believe in yourself, because it is doable, even still today, although there's so much free content. You just have to find a niche, you have to find what sells for you, you have to find how to sell it best, and then also you can. In my opinion, I'm confident of that. So many people ask me, including my wife, including my lenders, including friends, including journalists, what my actual goal is with this company. And I always just say that I like what I do, I like the company, I like the people I work with. And I think I can still achieve many things in this industry. I'm confident, still achieve many things for this industry, which will help them. There's many things we plan to do this year, and I'm sure it'll be all very interesting. And honestly, until I get fed up with this, and until it is no longer fun to work, I will just continue at what I think I do best, and this is growing Manwin and making it an entertainment brand that's known worldwide. And I think as long as I can stay as genuine as I am today, and as down to earth and such, and I hope all my friends and family will continue helping me stay that way. It'll be fun to do, and as long as I can stay that way, I want to continue working and continue doing what I do. So I hope you enjoyed a bit of the insight I gave about what we do in Manwin, how we do things in Manwin. I'm not sure if time permits, since I'm not sure how long I've been talking. But if people have questions, I might be open for them. Some questions on the screen were a bit strange, so let's not have those. Let's also, obviously, I'm not going to tell you how much money we make. I'm not going to tell you what I'm buying next. I'm sorry. This is too much fun to keep secrets and to surprise everyone. And in case Paul is here, I'm not answering anything about toilets in our offices around the world. But that's it. I hope you enjoyed it.
We actually do have some time here to take some questions, and anyone, you can raise your hands, and I'm going to come around, and anyone who has some questions, you can ask them right now.
You explained what you did with Playboy, that they approached you, but what about Digital Playground? Did you want to buy them?
Yeah, I actually thought a lot about what premium assets make sense. And Digital Playground obviously is one of them that is so known worldwide, that has this very unique feel to it, that is one of the very few ones that does major productions very well. And I thought, which better one to take than them? I think they can still be grown online quite a bit. They don't really have much presence online. And I'm rather sure that we can grow it. And therefore, I think it's interesting. And I think the DVD area isn't dead. TV isn't dead. TV will never go away. So we can continue making money with the content there also. And therefore, I think it makes perfect sense. And the acquisition was great. The team is good. Their ideas are good. They still have plenty of things to do, I'm sure. So why not help them?
You mentioned you raised 9 figures in debt. to go out and acquire companies. You know, sometimes if the financials line up, getting the money is not really the challenge. The challenge is deploying that capital. Are you worried that you won't be able to deploy that capital and it'll be, you know, really expensive to service that debt, or do you have plans on going into other verticals to deploy that capital?
We'll have it all deployed in June this year. I guess that's the simplest answer.
I don't see too many hands here. Come on, there we go.
Using Playboy as the model, back in the original days of Playboy, one of the most exciting things they did was go public. Do you see that as part of your process, a nice stock certificate with a really cute naked girl on it like Playboy did, or in terms of going mainstream as a next step?
I think the putting a naked girl on the stock certificate is probably not the best approach to try to go do an IPO. That's my opinion. I think it's definitely interesting. Clearly, I'm not going to say no. But I honestly didn't decide yet. It's one of these other questions the investors, obviously, the lenders asked. Because they wanted to know if I have some kind of an exit, right? What I think the exit would be. And honestly, what I told them in the beginning was the money I make today is fine. I don't need to go public. I think going public is doable. I think it's very difficult with a purely adult company. So I think it needs to be somehow mixed together with something mainstream. Finding that is not easy. I think there's certainly a few interesting targets out there. We kind of shift into the IPTV thing with Playboy. So that direction might be interesting. But what that will be in the end, there's nothing planned right now. Nothing set. I hope that answered the question. Sorry.
I want to get your opinion on .XXX. What is the pros and cons for the industry?
I don't know if I want to talk about .XXX. I'm sorry. This is a legal thing. I really don't want to. Let's not. I might say things I don't want to say, or shouldn't say.
I'd like to thank you for being so authentic. It was much more than I anticipated. I'd love to hear your comments on how online content differs from production-based content in live cams. How you see that as a different space.
Can you, sorry, I didn't fully hear.
Live webcams versus membership sites, recorded content.
The assets we have in Europe are somewhat a mix of those. It's basically sites that allows any girl or any guy or any couple or any group of people to shoot content video-wise, upload it and sell it. Next to that, it has webcams too. I think there's a world for both, no doubt. I think obviously in the tube world, it seems easier to sell cams. I think that's and I know from what I see, it's not the case. Obviously, cams do sell well, and it's obviously an interesting thing. I wouldn't have bought webcams if I didn't thought it was interesting. But I think today still, at least from a profit standpoint, you can make more money with mainstream adult entertainment content with videos than you can with cams. Because the cam sites I know, obviously revenue is huge, but they have so high costs, considering the fact that they have to pay girls a percentage, and they have to pay affiliates a percentage, and then they have costs in general. The profit margin gets cut quite a bit. Huh? Obviously, there are one or two or three quite big cam companies out there, and they make very good cash, no doubt. But I still think the premium market in general is much bigger. The content market in general is much bigger.
Hi. Do you have any insight into the...
I don't see you. Where are you?
Wait.
Ah! Very good, thank you.
The condom-only thing that's passing with production?
Difficult subject. Look, many of you probably know that we do have the Get Rubber campaign, which basically was done because we wanted to make it clear that the reason we shoot without condom is because we test. and make it clear that we don't think that anyone out there that meets up in a club should do it that way. And that's why we put it on DVDs, we put it on, we did the billboard on Times Square and things like that. I think it's a difficult subject because I don't fully understand what AHF's goal is, because clearly they must understand that this will not make the industry change because they will either just move out of LA or, I don't know, not care what the law says and shoot in underground kind of logic. So I kind of want to really understand what AHF's goals is, because I don't get where they're trying to get to. I don't have a specific stand on the subject. I know that our customers obviously prefer without condom, and I think if AHF actually has the goal of teaching people that using condoms makes sense, what they should do is they should go to the mainstream movie industry and start making them put condoms on each night table that before they start sex scenes and see people opening them. Because I don't know any mainstream movie where there's a sex scene where you notice that they put on condoms. So it can't be that can't be the goal, in my opinion. So I really don't understand what they're trying to do. It's a difficult subject. I think it's very, very, very difficult.
Well, first, I'd like to thank you for your blunt honesty, and you're an inspiration to me personally in the industry. I have a lot of questions, but one of them would be targeted towards mobile. You said one thing when you were optimizing, whether it's landing pages or MA or banners, that you are data-driven.
Yeah.
But you expressed a little bit of intuition in mobile traffic sales. How do you see the mobile traffic in premium sites emerging over the next year or 2 years?
I think it depends a lot on how you actually track and what you call mobile and what you don't call mobile. I think one of the reasons why there's still this big growth in mobile right now, or why people see it as a growth right now, is because a lot of it is tablets, which is currently still treated as mobile. I fully agree that it's secondary devices, because they work differently, they have to use them differently, so you should have different websites for it. But I wouldn't call it mobile. I think we should split it at some point. In total, I'm sure the market will continue to grow. There's no doubt about it. I think it'll surpass, if you take everything together, if you take tablets and so on, and phones together, I think that will clearly surpass non-mobile in, 2-3 years? But this, again, is just a categorization thing, right? I think you should split it. And then I don't think mobile will, I was wrong before, right? So I don't think mobile will grow that much more. Mobile itself, cell phones itself, it'll grow with penetration of the mobile devices that can easily surf the web. But that's it. The tablet market will obviously grow. And that's another market that we need to attack, and we need to make sure that we do stuff that works well on tablets.
Hi, I'm Dominic Ford with Porn Guardian. I just had a question about piracy.
Yes.
Obviously, as you said, tube sites are one of the major problems in the industry as far as illegal content. So what is your strategy with piracy currently? Where do you see it going? As a second unrelated question, I want to know what Manwin's doing in the gay space other than men.com, but more importantly, the piracy question.
Okay. Look, I think that for us, our websites are clean. I stand by that. It depends a bit on how you understand or how you see what is clean and what isn't clean, in terms of piracy, I mean. I think there are much, much worse websites out there. I agree that there are some tube sites which are quite bad in terms of piracy. In terms of them, what I would want to do is buy them and fix them. But people don't seem to want to sell me tube sites right now. The thing that is, I think, important for us is that we continue making sure that we do implement everything that is technically possible to protect rights holders. But we can't do everything, okay? And DMCA is a complicated thing, and it's hard for people to understand completely why it works the way it does. Kind of the same with SOPA. I don't agree with how SOPA works. I don't think it'll affect the tubes at all, because SOPA says in the second line of the law that DMCA still counts, so nothing will change in that sense. But I think what people need to understand is that piracy, we can fight it, obviously. I think we need to fight torrent sites, we need to fight the boards, we need to fight file sharing hosts and such. But in the end, however that sucks, and I completely agree that it sucks, I do not think it will go away. There will be no fix. And the reason I think there will be no fix, and this is not me sticking my head in the sand, huh? I still want to do everything I can to protect it, and I would love it if we could get rid of sites like PornBB or similar sites, or all the different file sharing sites. But the problem with all of this is that you have online the simple fact that, contrary to someone breaking the law by stealing something from some home, that is a very local event, right? That homeowner will notice, and maybe his neighbors will know, but that's it. And they are not really affected. With online, if someone in the Ukraine releases a site, it'll be everywhere. And that, I think, is the reason why piracy is so dominant, or is so big right now. And I think it's the reason why I think it will never go away. So we need to find ways that lowers it as much as we can, obviously. But I think we also need to find ways to make it interesting enough for the people that do want to spend to actually do it. Because I honestly think that, and we've seen it by testing, and I know many in the industry didn't agree with me that I did this, and I did remove the ads in case people didn't see. We tested on the Pirate Bay, and the traffic converts. It actually converts quite well. So these people do want to buy if they get the right stuff. But I think many of them, they at some point in time either got ripped off, or they are people that will never want to buy either way. And there are people that will never go and join a pay site, or join a campsite, or buy something at some VOD website. Those we cannot attack. The others, we have to make sure that we show them why it is beneficial for them to buy the content, why it helps them. And I think we can teach them that. I think we are teaching them that. I think they are buying from us because they see it's easier and nicer to actually buy it instead of going and getting it from the Pirate Bay. Because obviously with the amount of content we have, the Pirate Bay is full of our content. We can't remove it as much as nobody else can. But people still bought content. So, second thing, on the one side, I'm looking for possible acquisitions in the gay area. We started Man.com a few months ago. We started by shooting our own content and putting it on our gay version of Moviebox, and that went so well that we decided to launch a site. And Man.com was on the table, so we bought it, and that is working very, very well. We're shooting right now somewhere around 62 scenes a month, I think, for it. And it's going to just continue growing, and we're going to release new sites and so on and so on.
Okay. Hi, over here.
Yep.
Jesse Adams with My Candy and Adult App Store. I was just curious, of the 9 figures, how much was focused on mobile? And even though you say you don't quite understand why mobile is huge, what as a company is interesting for you guys as far as the future of mobile?
Sorry, the last part was what?
What's interesting for you as far as the future of mobile, even though you personally said you don't quite get why it's so cool? And then what percentage of the 9 figures was focused on mobile, investing in mobile?
Actually, of the acquisitions, I think there was nothing mobile specific in the plans. Obviously, all the sites had something mobile to it, but there was nothing specific mobile, so nothing. But in terms of what I think is interesting, I think the important thing right now is that it has to be continuously developed so that it's an interesting experience. We have to try to make sure that on the mobile side of the business, we keep the free content lower than it is on the PC side. We can't do it on the PC side, but we still can on mobile because I think people still put some kind of a value to the fact that they get something on the mobile device more than they do on the PC. And since we didn't release the floodgates, we're fine right now. Let's hope nobody does. Other than that, we continue to build. We have a small team actually that does apps also, but mainstream right now to get to know the systems. But other than that, there's not anything specific mobile that we're really working on right now. We just make sure that everything works mobile. We have a good team that handles the mobile sites, and we just make sure that they work well.
Okay, we're going to have to wrap it up. We have 2 more questions here, and then we're going to move on to the rest of our evening.
You mentioned earlier that you're aggressively working to drive conversion and to bring people high-quality traffic to your site. Are there concerns that removing the warning pages and 2257 compliance issues will bring about consequences for that increased conversion and that higher quality traffic?
In terms of all these legal implications, the lenders make very sure that we have everything perfect in that sense. So I don't really fear much there. I don't think there's much reason why there should be an issue, and no.
We actually have 2 more quick ones.
Sure.
I'm Donovan of Triple R Entertainment. I was just wondering if you have any intern type of positions, or maybe some type of educational series to someone that just got into the phone industry at the same age as you did, about 19, 18.
We actually started in Canada. We started a stage program, as in for people that actually still in college and that want to do like stages in the company. In general, we're always looking for people. We have a big company already, but we continue growing, and our HR department continuously looks for people. As long as you are in one of the locations or willing to move to one of the locations, apply. And we have plenty around the world, right? So LA, Montreal, there's something close to for everyone, I guess, at least in North America and Europe. And yeah, we always look for people. There's no doubt.
Hello, my name is Michael, and thank you. I was wondering about possibly industry diversification in regards to maybe also thinking outside of the box of what you're currently doing, looking to things like maybe fans or houses that maybe run off water, air, or magnetism, or solar kind of stuff.
As in non-online even?
Yeah, so doing any kind of streaming or videos, and also other sort of fields like maybe more conscious kind of stuff as well, just to be more diversified in what you can make money at.
Right now, I think we have so many projects that more is not healthy. But as soon as we get everything done, I'm clearly diversifying into mainstream. I'm trying that. I mean, we have Video Bash, for example, which is a mainstream YouTube site, funny video site. We have celebs.com. But it's hard enough already today to keep up with everything we do. And we're right now in a bit of a regrouping mode. And I think by the end of this year, possibly, we might look at new things, but right now it's very, very difficult because we've grown so fast in the last few years that we have to regroup and make sure that it doesn't fall apart. And that's right now quite important.
Well, again, on behalf of ABN and GFY, I want to thank you, Fabian, for giving us so much of your time, for your keynote